Bullying. It's an age-old issue that's taken on new and sometimes more aggressive forms through text messaging and social networking websites. In this report, local experts and students discuss how people are bullied, what makes prevention programs effective, and the challenges schools face in confronting the issue.
Bullying comes in all shapes and sizes. It's not just one thing fits all. There's rumors about people. There's going up and picking on people because they seem to be weaker in some sense. Starting rumors about people. Just plain being mean. What does it mean to be mean? What does that mean? So, we talk about it all. It's kind of hidden.
Imagine like one hallway in particular that is usually pretty rambunctious and throwing things at kids as they walk by. A popular prank is to push one student into a pack of students walking by. Stupid little pranks, I guess you could call them. And I mean, I usually see there's faculty walking in the hallways during passing periods. And I mean, if someone might yell a curse word or yell an insult at someone, and then there's sometimes like confrontation from the teacher after that, but a lot of it definitely goes unnoticed.
Conflicts that might start in school often continue after the bell rings, when students log on to their MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.
Like, I've heard of students creating like fake accounts and then like playing tricks on their friends or kids they don't like at the school or things like that. I mean, just last week, one of my friends showed me like a group about another student at my school. They have like Facebook groups that said that it was the name of the student that said looks like a whale. So I mean, it's definitely there. Clearly, not okay. And I mean, especially with all the recent news lately, I mean, it's definitely important to like do something about it. I mean, there's a lot of students who write on the group that say this is not okay, like this is really horrible, and then there's the students who just crack jokes and continue the process.
According to a recent report by the Kaiser Foundation, young people spend up to 8 hours sharing photos, posting notes, and networking online. But Cindy Boyle, Director of Community Education and Outreach at the Northwestern District Attorney Office, says she wouldn't be surprised if Valley students spend more than 8 hours a day consuming media.
Just like when the study just recently came out a couple of weeks ago that on average a student is sending up to 2,000 text messages monthly. When I heard the 2,000 text messages, I asked does that sound on par? What I will get from kids is double that.
Mm-hmm.
So our studies come out and they say 2,000 text messages, but if I ask, they'll tell me 4,000 or 5,000 monthly. So when I hear a study that says 8 hours a day, which I will start asking those questions next week when I go back into schools, do I suspect it's more than that? Yes.
With students devoting more minutes to media, cyberbullying spreads quicker and wider.
Some students send out they'll take a funny picture of someone and they'll send out a mass picture message. I know there's a student in my grade who someone took a picture of him sleeping on the bus, and then sent it to all his friends and to everyone they knew basically, and then that if you receive it, then you send it to people who you know because you think it's funny. And then from there, it can sort of turn into a school-wide joke. And I would definitely say that that's bullying. The joke's on you, but you were sleeping on a bus.
To prevent bullying, experts say it's important to teach students conflict resolution and life skills at an early age. Boyle oversees a program in which local high school students teach elementary school children internet safety.
This is the video. So it's important that we're opening a dialogue with first and second graders. We're encouraging them to talk to a trusted adult if anything ever makes them feel scared, uncomfortable, or confused.
Communication between parents and students is also important. At JFK Middle School, the All Stars program requires students to discuss topics like reputation, judgment, and goals with their parents.
I was really impressed. I was really impressed with the answers that the kids were really thoughtful in their responses. I was even more impressed that the parents were talking to the kids and being more responsive to their children and really talking about this stuff, because you could tell with their answers. And some of the kids would come back, do we really have to talk to our parents about this? So they were talking, even though they were getting the talk even if they didn't want to. And they actually, a lot of parents wrote back on the bottom of theirs, this is a wonderful curriculum, this is great starting points for dialogue. So I think the parents are pretty happy about doing the homework too. To talk about all the ways that you can be, I would say, mean to people. They talk about people writing things on Facebook and Twitter and texting and that stuff, and I'm trying to let them know that a lot of that stuff is not, you need to be aware, because that is, punishable, not by me, but by other people.
If you're bullying online, if you're sitting in front of a computer screen and there's no one who's gonna say, hey, don't do that, that's not okay, here's your consequences. It's sort of a way to get around that. I mean, at school or in person, if someone's sort of strong enough to stand up to a bully and say, no, that's not okay, I mean, I can see why that would be a situation that a bully would want to avoid, getting in trouble with an authority figure or with one of their peers, being called out for bullying someone. Can't feel too good either. So I feel like if you're sitting behind your computer monitor at home, it's sort of less person-to-person public, but at the same time, anyone can see it.
In addition to being unkind, bullying can be illegal. In workshops in local high schools, Boyle answers student questions regarding criminal charges for unruly online activity.
So if I were to give them a set of facts for, let's say, threatening to commit a crime, it would be me sending Mike a text message or an instant message, in either one of those, I writing to him, I'm going to beat you up after school tomorrow. The minute he receives that message, if his interpretation is that I'm going to follow through on that threat. So there's a whole bunch of things that come into play. Why does he believe I can follow through on a threat? My past history, there's a lot of different, do you see what I'm saying? With our law, it applies specifically case by case. And usually when I broach the subject with students, they can give me facts very quickly. So that's why I say it always depends on the classroom, because then I start molding my conversations around them and what's going on with them at that time, which is the most important thing.
For GazetteNet, I'm Catherine Baum.